Was Future State any good? We're going to find out right now. Hey, everybody. Oh, it's like, what, Mike? Let me go back to, there we go.
What's up, Mike? Intro.
Grr.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do I want to put that? I want to put that above Mike right there, right on his face.
Skeet.
Give him the O face.
Oh. It's first time catching Blastin or Stashin. What we do is we pick up the comics to read that come out for the week, and we give them a read, and we blast the books we hate. We stash the books we like before we jump into the reviews and the stats like that. Make sure you go over to Teespring. Pick out a cool classic T-shirt. I think I've sold a couple. I bought one. Joe bought one. But make sure you go and pick them up over there. Get the Poke and Joe one.
No, get
Thunderlust. You banned Thunderlust. We are talking about comics, so spoiler. This is your spoiler warning right here. We may give away plot points of books. We try not to really ruin it but we may. So just the heads up there, and to keep an eye out also for our Whiskey Dick issue. That's an issue that is kind of It's kind of like I don't want to blast it, I don't want to stash it, and we'll talk about maybe some of those. We're not doing the bracket thing anymore. I find that was a pain in the ass, so we're going to quit doing that altogether. So we're going to go back. We're going to change up this a little bit, but I think we're going to go back to just the regular old reviews. I might break it down just by Marvel, DC, and Independent. Maybe our blast and our stashes, but we're working on some more stuff. And we have a new segment tonight, too, that we're going to have on a weekly basis, and we'll go into more of that later. Who we got next guy? Double S.
He had me worried. I didn't see him.
We knew he was going to be there. We knew he was going to be there.
Well, quick card.
I did send Double S a message on Instagram. He was asking about some my goodness, I can't think of what they're called. X Factor books I had for sale. So definitely go get a hold of me, Double S, and let me know what you're thinking. What else we want to talk about? What else we've been doing since our 5th annual Stashies? Mike, what have you been doing? Touching yourself? What?
Touching yourself. Touching myself. Nothing really. What did I watch? I watched something.
It's a good start.
Yeah,
that's a good something. I watched something too one time.
I liked it.
I watched a couple episodes of that History of the Curse Words or whatever.
Is that any good? Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that.
The only thing that, what's his name?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage host. He's pretty funny. So
yeah,
and it's pretty interesting. I know when Crystal went to bed, that she put it on and fell asleep to it. So, I did get 5 new Funko Pops yesterday.
Oh no.
Shut your Funko mouth. What did you get?
Optimus Prime.
Oh, the Gen 1.
Gen 1, baby. Megatron.
Gen 1. I thought that was a thing we were doing. I'm sorry.
No. We're not doing it every single one.
One of my favorite Transformers. Jazz.
Oh, I thought it was a J-I. Sorry.
Jazz.
Go ahead. Nothing. Go ahead.
And old Bumblebee, old school Bumblebee, the Volkswagen.
With the devil, because he's a devil.
Wow. Got a fire stick. He needs to go to the clinic.
Get some penicillin for that. He's watching us on TV, man. Hopefully it's not a big TV because you definitely don't want to see his son at full size. That'd be scary.
Man.
What else? What have I been doing? Anything else, Mike? Anything other shows or anything?
No, just
Yeah.
working a lot as usual.
Yeah, I've been working a lot too. Finally got back to work after that COVID scare thing. So, but just been working. Been watching Big Bang Theory. Almost done with that. I think we're on season 11 right now. So one more season left to go. We're done with that. I've been playing Ori Willow, something of the Wisp. Willow of the
Willow
Wisp.
of the Wisps, or
Yeah, I've been playing that.
how's your vagina?
Salty. Moist.
It's actually pretty. It's actually a fun game. I picked it up because a lot of the guys on Janice Groner's been playing a lot lately, so I went in and picked it up and I've been playing that. I thought it was fun. I think it's fun. You don't like the side scroller games?
The
Girl
good
date.
ones.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
No,
It's fun.
I actually, in all,
He ain't letting this one go, bud.
no. Truthfully, I did play the one he's talking about for about 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, no. So.
And I can't think of any other games or anything I've been playing really lately. Nope. Stacking firewood, all that fun stuff. Splitting and stacking firewood. Getting ready for a little more of a winter, but other than that. What about you, Joe? What else have you been doing?
Been working in the shop a lot, editing new videos. I made my next project. I was able to get this one done a little early. When I say a little early, it just means I was able to spend more time on it because I have a honey-do list that's growing. And it's for I made a kryptonite ring. That's the kryptonite ring. So I made, and we put some illegal substances in it. Dynamite.
You may or may not have tumors.
Yeah, may not kill you. No, it's perfectly safe. It's within a CA glue. I'll have that video out. Unfortunately, when you're editing blacksmithing videos, you don't realize how much you actually stand around waiting for things to heat up. So the editing is taking forever. But this is all in preparation for Mr. Comic 89's Knockout Show. He's another YouTuber, and he asked me to come on there and allowed me to pick a villain. So, of course, I picked Lex Luthor off of his list. So I wanted to bring something super special. So we took $10 worth of quarters. We did a Morigame Damascus type of ring, and we added synthetic crystals, glow in the dark, and thermite to it because it's the closest thing we have to actual kryptonite on Earth, which is made by the way, an atomic blast, and it's illegal to mine. So don't ask how I got a hold of some, but I made some kryptonite, some things like that. So super happy about that. Was able to get it done. I thought it came out really good. Again, the video, better pictures will come out later, but that's pretty much what I've been working on since our last time, and I've been working nonstop on it. So, and I got to hang out with Mikey and give him his Keyblade.
Yep, you see all those pictures on Instagram too. So, Discovery Bay is in here. He's saying good evening too. Discovery Bay is another one I got to get back to about selling some comics as well. I did see his message, and I'll get back to you, or Discovery Bay, on that as well.
You know, Discovery Bay always brings up a good point, and I want to ask just a quick question before we jump in. I understand. My understanding is that there's been this problem with pull tabs within people buying comic books. They don't come in pull tabs. Like, people are just wrapping things up. And I may have an invention that may solve it. I'm calling it the KNIF. And we'll probably make a few of them over in the shop and send them out to some of the people that are having problems with this this pull tab thing. I'm gonna call it the KNIF. So we'll probably send some of them out.
I did a girl that had the KNIF one time.
Is that why? Is that before the Navy or after?
During.
During the Navy? Was it an overseas thing?
Israel.
Okay.
Them girls tricky.
Let's jump into the comics. Mike, you want to start us out on a... let's go over... Might as well go over the Future State stuff. Let's get that stuff out of the way. And we'll go over them, and then we'll talk about which one's our favorite out of there. Mike, you want to start out with one?
Not really.
Don't do the Superman one. That's the only one I got.
That's the only one I didn't get. Future State, Future State, Future State.
I know you got the Wonder Woman one. Review that one.
Review the Wonder Woman one?
Sure,
It's
do
all
the
about
Wonder
meat
Woman
and
one.
potatoes. Hit it up. Hit that Amazon booty up.
That is my pick, Huey.
No, we're not doing that yet. We're not doing that yet. Well, we have a special. We have a special intro for that, and we'll talk about that later.
All right, Wonder Woman Future State. Got this somewhat beautiful Jenny Frison cover.
Weird.
So in the beginning, I thought it was really cool. She's fighting a Hydra dragon type monster on a winged horse that she named Jerry. Long story short, she needs to get into Hades to save one of her sisters. First off, I don't like the way she talks. She's on this winged horse and she goes, "What, Jerry, pull a Yui. Like, make a U-turn." I was like, really? This is what we're doing with this?
No.
And the way that Hades is depicted, it's campy. It's more comedic than anything.
Campy. Good word.
Yeah. It's a little cheesy. It's a whiskey dick. I
Hit
love
it.
her. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're slacking, Slick.
I was too busy reading the book again. Where is it? Mike's.
I love her costume. I hope it gets better. I know she's appearing in the Justice League Future States. She's teaming with Superman and all them. So hopefully her character gets a little better. But I think she's sexy as fuck. And her costume's sexy. A lot of booty pictures in that book.
What you thought was camp was stuff that I actually enjoyed with this book. This was actually my favorite of all the Future State books.
What?
Yeah, yep.
Well, also probably Ori and Will o' the Wisps.
Yeah. So, although it definitely had a Hercules vibe at the beginning of it, with fighting the Hydra, the Hercules Disney movie, where he's fighting the Hydra and he has the Pegasus and call IXII. That's all I could think about the whole time I was reading the first part of this book. You guys remember that line from the Hercules? Even kind of looks like the same thing, when he chops the head off the Hydra in the Hercules movie. Kind of the same look there, too. But I loved it when they were going to hell, and it was almost like in an airport. And they had the signage and stuff like that, and the turnstiles, and like here, gate number 1. That's the stuff I actually loved about this book, and that was like my favorite part. She did look a lot like the drawing of the character looked a lot like the Hispanic girl from Ghost Rider. Is it Eva
Mendez?
Yeah, the Eva lady.
Mendez.
Yeah.
Yes. She has the mole and everything, just like Eva does. And that's why I envisioned the whole time I was reading this book was Eva Mendez, as this character.
And she's got a Cindy Crawford mole.
Yep. So this is actually a stash for me. This was, like I said, my favorite of all the Future State books. Let's see, what's the chat saying?
The chat's saying all kinds of things. First off, everybody's greeting each other and being really cool. So that's the point of the chat room. Thank you all for doing that. Discovery Bay says, I've read a lot of books this week. Can't wait to hear everybody's opinions on them tonight, especially Batman. Legion of Comics said, I had zero expectations for Future State. I was blown away, but pleasantly surprised as well. Double S says, it would have been special if she had named it Joey. A winged horse named Joey. You know what? At that point, I don't think it would have mattered. But I appreciate it. I enjoyed how Hades was represented, says Legion of Comics. It appears different to everyone based on their perspective. And that's a fair perspective. I agree. And what about Jerry too? LOL, he says. And then he also says, Thought the intro was decent to set the Wonder Woman tone before straight diving into the story with all the new differences. So my question is, I did not read Wonder Woman, so I have a question. I don't want to put it in the chat. I don't want to type. I've been drinking too much. Are we dealing with a different Wonder Woman than the two that went into the void in Dark Knights?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So this is another multiverse. We're just telling a fresh new story.
Think of all these books as Elseworld books.
Got it. Got you covered, bud.
Yeah, because she has a cameo at the end of Death Metal 7.
Right.
And one panel at the top on that one page. That's all you see her. Yeah, she's like the Brazilian Wonder Woman or something like that, right? I think she's supposed to be Brazilian. Yeah.
But Amazon, never mind. Geography, it's hard. I know.
Hey, I'm not the writer behind this book. So I just talk about it.
I know you're not, dude. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm already getting shit about liking Wonder Woman. I'm getting shit about liking Ori. Might as well get shit about that.
That you liking Wonder Woman. Oh my Lord. I'm gonna drink beer.
Mike said that. Mike's an asshole.
Mike's a weird guy.
I'm not an asshole. I just tell the truth.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, moving on to the next book. Harley Quinn Future State. Joe, you didn't pick up this one. You didn't pick any other than Superman for Future State. That's it.
It's all I picked up.
I ended up picking up almost. I think all of them. Well, you can go over Superman here in a minute. So my understanding from this, we were all new characters coming in, but it doesn't seem so. Like with this one, it seemed like it's the same Harley Quinn that we've known all this time. So it's not like it's a new Harley Quinn.
Before you go any further, I want us to highlight that comment that these are supposed to be new stories, new characters. I want that highlighted for a second, and I want us to focus on that phrase. You said it.
What comment? Oh, I said. I thought I meant something in the chat.
Yeah, you spoke the words from Miracle.
Yeah. Well, so I thought those were all new characters, but I guess they're not. So just different stories. So in this one, Crane has Harley Quinn captured in a cell, and he's actually trying to get Professor Pig, and he's trying to get
Firefly.
Who else? Is he? Firefly. Yeah. So she is like giving him, well, did you try this? Did you pray to go to his sensibilities about where's Professor Pig? But yeah, she's just saying she's giving Crane different ways to be able to approach these guys to try to capture him. But she's trying to gain her freedom. The Black Mask ends up showing up at the end of it. He ends up killing somebody he was wearing like a fake black mask and says that, essentially, this is not a game. You don't get to wear my mask without, being serious into blowing a guy away. That was about the only part of the whole book I thought was good. But what about you? Like, real quick before Joey says, this is what like Harley Quinn saying, make sure it's talking about Professor Pig. Make sure it's something the artist would ever sign a name to. Plaster it all over the news and credit Pig. I guarantee he'll start squealing. So she's giving him a little more insight on or psychology of these characters and how to pull them out to be able to capture them. So we don't know why really Crane's looking for him, but overall, no, it's a blast. Really, it's not one that I like very much. What about you, Mike? What did you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good. I think all the Bat books, the Bat family books, are going to tie together in some way with the Magistrate. There's no more police in Gotham. It's just the Magistrate. They shoot anyone with a mask, but you learn more about that in the Batman book. But I thought this was pretty good. I'm glad they didn't make Harley all goofy like she was in her other books. So I'm stashing this one.
Mike and I are at odds here with these books so far.
We're at war with the Future State.
We are.
Real quick, before we move on to the next book, let's hit up the chat real quick, if you don't mind. Legion said, thought the intro was decent. Oh, I already read that one. Sorry. I might have picked up the new Wonder Woman, says Double S. Legion of Comics says Dark Knight was one Wonder Woman, and the other hand, of creation. Okay, I get what you're saying there. Discovery Bay says he dug Wonder Woman from page 2 on, all the way through. I thought it read well and just humorous enough, and that's what we should expect from a DC book. Good job.
Humorous enough,
Let's see.
yeah.
Comics also says, reminds me of Stan Lee. This image book years ago.
Yeah.
Am I reading this wrong? Where are my glasses?
Reminds me of how Stanley did this Imagine book years ago.
And a Brazilian, okay. Let's see here. And Sam DeMaio art. Yeah, I agree with that. I did see the art in it. I agree with that. Double says mostly every Harley #1 book is a big hype and then a letdown. That's why I don't pick them up. I did think it was kind of interesting, and if I'm hearing your reviews correctly, they did kind of a Batman thing in there where they did like a rogue gallery where they had several villains in there. You talked about Professor Pig, who's a cool villain, but you also had Black Mask, but these aren't like A-stream villains. Was there any other villains in the book?
Firefly was in there.
Firefly,
which
3.
Yeah, which is really kind of a C or a D villain when it comes to DC villains.
All 3 of those are kind of the lower level villains, I would think.
Yeah, I think those are the main 3 that they were talking about throughout the book. It got me thinking, though. We're talking about the Brazilian Wonder Woman. Maybe that's just she had a Brazilian wax. Maybe that's all it is. Uh-oh. Did somebody hear me? Yeah.
Did your wife just hear you? Yeah, you.
My wife just heard me. She's coming in. She's giving me crap.
You may want to mute your mic. We don't want to hear abuse.
I'll get in trouble.
What's a Brazilian wax?
I'm not even going to talk about it now. I'm embarrassed. My wife done embarrassed me. Go ahead. Joe, why don't you start with Superman? Let's jump out here and do something else.
Your wife embarrassed you.
Yeah. I'm turning red now.
So I just want to be clear. My understanding of this whole future state thing, according to this book, Death Metal, and all the advertisements and everything out there and all the reviews we've heard yet, I was under the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, we were going to be getting fresh, new stories, fresh, new characters, fresh, new age. Everything was going to be super cool and super new. Am I wrong? Did everybody else think that was going to be different? Just comment in the chat. Talk amongst yourselves on that one while I review this book. So we got Superman of Metropolis. Basically, it's Superboy. Superboy, that character been around since
Golden Age,
1954. Yeah, I got notes. 1954. Okay. All right, fine. Fair enough. It's a different universe. We can throw our excuses on there. All right, guess what he does? Because a being that's made from Brainiac, kind of, sort of, in some vague way that we don't understand because they didn't explain it very well, he's keeping this particular life form safe, and to even protect it even more, you know what Superboy does? He shrinks Metropolis into a jar. That's super fresh and new, right? Like, who would have? We've done this. Brainiac's done it. Superman's done it. Zor-El's done it. And guess what? Superboy did it in Adventure Comics too. I'm just throwing that out there. This has already happened like 4 other times in the history of DC Universe. So it's not a fresh new start. All right. You can even say, well, context is everything. There's this being that was kind of sort of Brainiac. He was made from Brainiac, but we're going to call him Brain Cell. And everybody's going to hate Superboy for doing it. Same thing happened in Adventure Comics and when Superman did it. We're being told the same story, and the expectation is all these new readers that are going to jump on board with Future State don't know that these stories have already been told. We even had Kara, right? Supergirl go against Superboy in his decision in this. It's the same story from the Silver Age where they both went at it like that. It's the same story. No, I get it. And I'm being a little rough because I'm a comic book collector. I have the issue that it happened in. I know the story. I read comic books. Maybe I'm being picky, but you, DC, promised me a fresh new story. So what did you do? Well, you did give me two fresh new stories in them. They're just boring and garbage. You gave me a new Mr. Miracle story. For some reason, Mr. Miracle is living in Metropolis now. And it's a different universe, so we have to make that very clear. And I understand why we gender or not gender. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Why we race changed him because it's a different universe. We want a new character. I get the separation, and I can appreciate that. But seriously, his suit is janky. He's like the one. Like you couldn't do something cool with that. You made him have to constantly combat not only the villain but his own technology. Like that just got annoying after a while. And not to mention, we brought back the Guardian, and you did no changes there. You just brought back the Guardian, and yeah, it's lame. Look, the Guardian's a lame character. I'm sorry. Maybe some of you are fans out there, but I see him as a cop in a SWAT outfit fighting crime off duty. Like that. That's his thing. That's his thing. So this entire thing was a blast for me. Just because you broke your promise to me. You broke your advertisement to me. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. You just retold a bunch of stories, and then you told even worse stories. So it's a blast. Sorry I took so long.
I picked up the Frank Cho variant on that. I haven't read. I was skimming through it when you were talking about it there. The art is pretty bad in here. I don't like the art. Just skimming through it. It's pretty atrocious. What about Joe? You and Mike? You didn't read that one this week?
Fuck Superman.
Woo! Damn!
You want to be Lex Luthor? I'll make you a kryptonite ring. And
you want to talk about? We're almost half an hour into it right now. We're only got three DC books. You want to talk about any other DC books, Mike?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Did you pick up any other of the Future State ones?
Yes.
Just give us a quick rundown, blast or stash on the ones you thought read.
Next Batman. Enjoyed it, and I think everyone hates on the two backup stories. I actually like the two backup stories. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So this is a stash. The Flash Future State was good as well. Wally West is now basically like famine, and he's just feeding off everybody. Speed Force. None of the members of Flash's family have the Speed Force anymore, so they've taken to stealing their opponent's weapons, like Captain Cold's freeze gun, and they're using it to go into battle with. Thought it was decent, but my favorite book of the Future State has got to be Swamp Thing. Love the art in it. Humanities. This is years and years in the future. Humanities basically on the verge of extinction. Swamp Thing is like, yeah, good stuff. What else? Was there any other?
No, I think that was all the Future State this week. I mean, I read Future State Flash, where they all had to put their thinking caps on in order to combine their whatever energy they had to be able to try to find Wally. That was a little weird. I don't know. I don't know where my Batman book went. It's shipping right here in my stack. I did pick up Swamp Thing, but I have not read that one yet. And you said it's good, so I'm probably going to hate it.
If you like any of the older Swamp Thing, the art, what's his name run on Swamp Thing? Oh fuck!
The guy
who?
The guy who wrote Watchmen. The guy wrote Watchmen.
Yeah, stuff like that, man. It's pretty good.
I did pick up the
Alan
Superman cover.
Are you guys talking about Alan Moore?
Alan Moore, yeah. I did pick up the Superman Frank Cho cover, and I did pick up both Wonder Woman covers, the Adam Hughes as well as the Jenny Frison. The Batman book, just like with Discovery Base had, the back, not hating on the backup stories, just wanted more Batman for my $7.99, and I definitely agree with that thought too, because the Batman story I thought was pretty good. The whole mask thing being outlawed, and then there are police out there.
Bang.
Yeah,
I mean the Bane gang.
The Bane gang. That's hard to.
The
I'm not
gang
gonna try to say that
Hey,
anymore.
guys, when we go to a Comic-Con together, I got a new T-shirt for us.
The Bane gang. The Bane gang.
No, I'm putting a G on it.
Oh yeah. But I enjoyed the Batman story. Yeah, the Katana story and the Outsider story. I could cut it down without. I would have expected to have that whole story about just Batman. Sure, Katana it connects with Batman with the Outsiders, and of course the Outsiders do. But other than that, dude, I would have rather had more all that Batman stuff versus the 3 stories. So it wasn't really a Batman book then. I think it was more of just a this should have been just a general DC Future State book, not a Batman, not called a Batman book. What about you, Joe? Let's move in. Have you picked up any other DC stuff this week?
The only other thing I picked up was, and I already mentioned it, but I did get my 1 in 25 band cover for heavy metal. So I had the complete set of heavy metal, death metal stuff. So I'm super proud of that. But yeah, we already talked about it. Brave New World coming. Fresh new ideas. Rehash of Silver Age.
I almost picked up the cover you were showing there, Mike. Death Metal number 7.
The Jay Lee cover.
Yeah, I almost picked it up. There were a few things in this book I actually thought were pretty funny. There was a lot more adult kind of jokes in here. You know, when the demon's doing his little poem, and then all of a sudden, he's essentially saying, "What the fuck?" When they're blasting through time and history.
How about the Batman band?
Yeah, the Batman band was kind of lame. I did like the zombie superheroes. I thought that was cool, and they thought they chopped Batman's black ring off. And he says, "No, I that's just a fake, man. That just keeps it out there." So, yeah,
I thought that was a MacGuffin. I'm sorry, I hate MacGuffins. I think MacGuffins are the worst thing you can ever do in anything. But it was just a quick MacGuffin to throw out there. Just say, "Aha, you didn't get the better of me." I thought that was kind of chintzy, but I did. The biggest thing I liked about this, and all right, we'll get deep for 2 seconds. Put me on a timer. I'm sorry. Make it.
Thank you, Hidden Gem Comics, for subscribing to my channel.
Oh, hey, he hit me up too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. The cool thing about this was I really liked at the end where we had the rough Wonder Woman, the death metal Wonder Woman, and we had the more refined Wonder Woman. And I really like the philosophy of that, because technically they're both the same character, just one's older and more experienced, one's rough and primitive. So we kind of have this concept, and it's used in philosophy a lot. It's called the John the Baptist effect. And it's a religious effect, because there was actually 2 Saint John Baptists, right? There was the one that, and if my religion is correct, there was John that baptized Jesus, and then there was John the Baptist, saint, who was very knowledgeable. So you had these 2 different, we'll just call them Johns, just keep things simple. You had the very rough one, you had the very refined one, and you had both of these characters in there showing the duality that we should all, throughout time and space, have the same concept and be able to hold both of these concepts together. I thought this was a very interesting concept, and I love the way they put it together in here. I just don't think that they explained it well, and it kind of missed the head. Or I just saw somebody's comment that came in. So we just kind of missed the point there. That we're both. Everybody has a duality in them. Don't care who you are, don't care how smart you are, don't care how refined you are. There is a primitive nature to you, and there is an intellectual nature of you. But they didn't really explore that any further than just to launch a new universe, that tell Silver Age stories. Yeah.
That wasn't actually Wonder Woman, though.
Right. It wasn't Wonder Woman,
It
but
was just a vision that appealed to her.
it was a vision that appealed to her, but it was her because she spoke of hope. And that is kind of Wonder Woman's whole thing in the triad, right? Wonder Woman is hope, keep fighting. And then the other one brought the hope to carry on. So forth, they just did it in a more intellectual manner. I'm sorry, I should have been more clear on that. I apologize.
The other part I like too was when we have the death or the Black Universe or the was it? Is it the whatever? The Superman from the bad universe. He says, "Now I exist to reclaim all matter. I am the final star. Come into me." And the one kind of like, "Oh, gross." You know, I thought that was
fun.
Having those kind of adult jokes, I think, in there were
Was that
great.
the book where they tell Jarro to give him mouth to mouth, and
He's like, "I have no mouth."
I have an ass.
I loved Lex Luthor in it. I thought that was awesome. But then again, I'm a little biased to Lex Luthor.
I'm glad it's over.
What do you all think about this new secret society of people to kind of overwatch everything? Does that seem a little redundant? Like we've done this? I don't know.
Isn't Justice League of America kind of have out there in their own little?
Well, there's no source wall anymore, so and there's no barriers to. So I guess they go there first. I don't know.
Well, see, the question
I don't fucking know.
They purposely said that the Earth that we're familiar with these heroes are no longer the center of the universe.
Yeah.
So where do they get off monitoring everything? Again, argument of authority is happening. We're gonna monitor you. Well, maybe do you even have the right to? Like, I think that's going to bring up some interesting story matter. But I don't know. Maybe we'll just get a rehash of the Silver Age story.
Okay. Before we jump into some Marvel books, there wasn't a whole lot of Marvel out this week, at least for my.
Half my stack is Marvel, baby. Let's talk Marvel.
Well, hold on a second. Before we go up into Marvel, we got to go into Mike's new segment that we're doing each week, and I have a special intro.
We definitely need to do that one.
Ready? Ready for your special intro, Mike?
I guess so.
Ooh la la.
This is Mike's meat potato cover of the week. This is where he gives us his favorite cover of the week. It could be an old cover. It could be a current cover this week. Mike, what do you got for us this week? What's your meat potato?
So it has to be a cover? I wish I would have known that to begin.
Yeah, I told you what. Let's have your meat and potatoes. You always talk about meat and potato cover.
Always. Dude, now you got a segment.
You said cover? I don't know. I'll have to go check that. But
what did you think? An article?
You don't go for the articles. Come on.
All right.
Hidden Gem said, "Oh my God, the music, bro! You scared me for a sec."
I didn't even hear the music. So I guess my meat and potatoes cover this week will be the Jenny Frison Brazilian Wonder Woman. For that part right there, throw some barbecue sauce on that, eat it up. But she does have a sexy costume, and if you read this book, she does show a lot of butt, and she's got Cindy Crawford's mole. So,
or Eva Mendez's mole, one of the two.
Wow.
How about your mustache?
Cover for you for the week.
Leave my mustache alone.
I'll have to do something a little bit better than this meat and potatoes, but I was unprepared for this.
My meat and potatoes is an old book. Actually, Steve at Rogue City Comics, Steve and Jamie, they got a whole huge collection in a whole bunch of 90s stuff, and they said it's like a whole bunch of stuff. And they had some Elvira books, so they actually gave me these Elvira Mistress of the Dark books. So these are my meat and potato covers for the week. Do you have meat and potato cover, Joe, or no?
There's a girl on one of the covers I bought this week. So I guess that's didn't know I was. I didn't know I was participating.
You don't have to participate.
Segment. I am sorry.
Mike is more the meat potato guy. Let's jump into your Marvel books, though. What do you got for your first Marvel book, Joe?
Well, real quick, let's jump in the chat because we got a lot of interaction tonight, and I love seeing that. You guys are really helping us out. So we got Superman was one book, Joe, across the board. That was much better rollout than anyone was expecting. And you know what? That's a fair opinion. I did read some of the books right there in the comic book shop. My comic book shop understands that I'm not buying every comic book out there to review them. I did pick up and I did read some of them. And I was just, your story is your story, their story is their story, whatever the case may be. I found the one that I really wanted to dive into because, again, I recognize the story. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's right. But I didn't see anything fresh and new. So I apologize for that. I'm rambling. Here we go. Did any of you guys get Generation Shattered for the rest of the context and the structure of the Omniverse? Did anybody read Shattered?
I did not know. I haven't.
I did. I thought it's a stash. It's pretty good. Commandy, that one boy wonder, whatever the fuck is Commandy. He basically the universe is being destroyed, but I guess this takes place during the Perpetua Dark Knight. I guess it takes place during issue 7 of Death Metal. And a future Booster Gold comes and recruits Commandy, but he ends up dying and gives Skeets, his little robot, is now Skeets is now like a gauntlet, and before Booster Gold dies, he passes the gauntlet on to Commandy, and Commandy goes to all these dimensions recruiting a team. It's pretty cool. He gets like 1939 Batman, and it's a long read. It was $10, but it does explain more of the. It's not the multiverse anymore. It's the Omniverse. It's many multiverses. So
one giant universe.
One giant vagina.
What?
Yeah,
okay, moving on to the chat. Good. Oh my God, the music. Apparently, somebody likes the intro music to Mikey's new section. Bro, you scared me for a second.
Either one of you guys know what that music was?
I didn't even hear it, so.
Here. Let's play it again real quick.
Quickly. We got a lot of more.
Ooh la la.
Is that the it's from a show?
No, it's not from a show.
What is it from then?
It's from Pornhub.
Oh, wow. Okay, so did you read it, watch any good movies this week? Anyway, back to the chat. I'm sorry. Having Batman not the smartest one in the room is wild. Kendry teaching Batman. Who would have thought? I always liked Kendrick as a character, but I understand that. I understand why some people wouldn't.
Commandy?
Yeah.
You said Kindred.
Did I say Kindred? That we'll get to Kindred. That mother. We'll get to him in a second. Yeah, I'm sorry. So yeah, we're caught up on the chat. Oh, and I'm sorry. Hidden Jim said, "Wow, Elvira." Boom. Fair enough, sir. Fair enough.
Okay, get to your Marvel books, Joe.
All right, we'll get to. Are we doing one at a time?
Yeah, you can do a couple right now. I didn't read a whole lot.
You just kind of changed the show up on us. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I know. I can do whatever I want.
You can do whatever. You're the boss, man. I'm just hanging out. All right, let's talk about. I want to talk about a stash. So I can be hard on books. So I want to be generous. So I'm going to talk about Eternals. That should surprise people. All right, first off, I only picked this up because it's Scotty Young cover, and as we know, my wife collects Scotty Young covers exclusively. She doesn't read the comic book, but we have a rule in our house: you buy a book, somebody's got to read it. There it is. So I read through this, and I'm so happy that I did. First off, I don't ever remember reading a full Eternities book back in the day because I was just like, it just wasn't my thing. The whole future and eternity and all this wasn't really my thing. I was really kind of into like Hawkeye shooting arrows in people's faces. Like that was hot. So I just never really attracted me. And shame on me. Like I have issues 1 through 20 sitting in a box and I've never read them. And now I need to go read them because I actually like this and I want to know what they're more about what they're talking about. And this did a great job. If you're not into the Eternals or maybe you didn't read them, this gives you a great explanation about how their whole thing works. I can't explain it any other way than their thing. They have a unique thing in the Marvel universe that is very specific to them. And it's very important to know, especially if they're going to be getting involved with the whole Null thing. And in here, we got to give them a quick, who did it mystery. So somebody's been murdered. But we get a super, super big highlight in this. One of my favorite villains is back. He's a villain, but he's not a bad guy. He's just a villain. And it's Thanos. Thanos is back. And I'm kind of okay with it as long as the current writer is writing him. Like, if Coates was like, I'm going to write Thanos, like, I would spit on it and walk away because Coates can't write his way out of – he can't write a postcard. I'm sorry if you're a Coates fan. I apologize. Apparently your parents raised you wrong. But I can't. But this cat, now, what are my thoughts on the movie? I just saw that pop into the chat. I don't know. I'll give anything a fair chance when it comes to a movie theater. I don't know because I can't even fathom this whole thing becoming like, how would you even incorporate that? Like the incorporation of it, the context to it, I don't know. I'm excited. I think they're going to do some really cool stuff, but I've been bored with this comic book. Although I will say this, I was not a fan of most of the art I liked in it, but this one particular character decided to be a girl now, whatever that thing is. They decided to be a girl now, but it still looks like a dude. Like it looks like a hard dude in here, like a dude that's lived a very rough life. It doesn't look like a child girl. Sprite looks like a grown middle-aged dude in here, and they're trying to pass it off as a girl. So yeah, I spoke too long. I saw the message. You can throw up a sign too, you fucktard. There you go. There's my review.
I have that book, but I haven't read it yet. I was so tired over the week. That whole last week when I was off, my sleep schedule got totally out of whack. And then now I'm trying to go back to work and getting up at 6 a.m. And so it was just really killing it. So I can get a chance to read that. Mike, do you read Eternals?
No, sir, I did not.
I do. I got that Frank Cho cover. I'm a big Frank Cho fan, so I ended up picking up that. What else? What'd you read for Marvel, Mike?
Oh, man, I read a lot for Marvel. How about you?
I read a couple. What do you got?
God damn it, you tell me to do one thing. What? Thor number 11.
What'd you think of Thor number 11?
Thor number 11 was a definite stash. A little slower issue. Donald Blake is having a little bit of dinner with, goddamn, what's her name?
Jane
Foster. Jane Foster. He ends up finding out she was a Thor for a little bit of time, and he goes all batshit crazy and has to leave. And like I said, a little bit slower issue, but the ending where Donald Blake is going after. I know he has a name, but we'll call him Frog Thor, who's backed up by Lockjaw, looks like. So Thor's been considered this Aliens cover. You know, these Alien covers are right up my alley. This one we actually get to see Thor smashing the head in one of the xenomorphs. So, yeah, Thor's a stash. I also read Miles Morales, Spider-Man. I know you guys don't read this, and it's not really good. It's basically date night for Miles and Starling.
Date night.
Date Night, who starring is basically the granddaughter of the Vulture. So they share their first kiss. So
Sweet.
and he's all depressed because his uncle died and blah blah blah. So
Blah blah blah. I mean, don't give too much
was
of the story away.
Stalker, right? Was it the Stalker?
the Prowler.
The Prowler. That's it. Yeah.
That's another Aliens cover.
Yeah, I picked up that Thor Alien cover too. This is actually pretty good, because he had Donald Blake at the beginning talking about how great the steak was. Like, he hadn't had a steak in years. How every fiber of his being was just exploding with texture and all that stuff. That was good. But he's going after the Thor. Is it Thorgy? Is that who?
I think so, Thorgy.
Yeah. I picked up Venom 2 this week. Venom 32. I picked up the Alien cover for that one. You pick up the Alien one, Mike?
I have it coming.
Okay.
I pre-ordered it just to be sure. So it's probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So in this story, the last one, Eddie Brock was on his deathbed, and he ended up dying, and he's in the hive mind essentially, and he runs into Rex, who was his officer, I think, in the military.
No, he was the first Venom from Vietnam.
That's where I'm getting the military thing. Okay, that's right.
Vietnam,
So he's telling Eddie, "Man, you're dead. You're dead," and he's in denial completely. He's in that first stage of denial, argument, whatever. He's in that first stage of denial. I'm not dead.
7 stages of grievance.
Yeah. Those. But he's in that first stage. He's saying, "Nope, it's not going to happen. I'm going back. I'm going to fight my way back." And so that's how it kind of ends. He's in the process of trying to get.
Of Christ compels you.
Yeah, that's it. This was better than that last book of him falling and falling and falling. So this is Stash for me. The other Marvel book I picked up was that Star Wars High Republic number 1, but I haven't read that yet. And that was kind of a spec buy for me too, because Star Wars, everything's hot right now for Star Wars. So, but I only bought 1 cover. So I'll try to give it a read though, because I'm definitely trying to get more into the Star Wars universe with the whole Mandalorian stuff. So,
are we doing a
Star
flash
Wars
right
High
now?
Republic.
What are
Sorry
we
it's
doing?
so dark in here. I'm having issues with my electricity.
it catch on fire.
Yeah, I hope not. We already did that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
This actually takes place, if you don't know, before the Phantom Menace, before any of the Star Wars bullshit. It's about a Padawan. You can see her on the cover, the black chick right there in the middle, and that's her master. What's her master's name? Skier.
Careful.
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore.
I don't think you are either, Mike.
I don't think you're allowed to use that.
What,
term
master?
Yeah.
What is... You got me all lost now.
Especially when he starts out with the other thing.
Yeah. Basically, she's going through her Jedi trial. Shit happens. It's pretty good. If you're a fan of Star Wars, pick it up. Give it a read. Yoda's in it. So
I'm so glad that somebody said something that flustered you and you lost track, because it happens to me all the time. I'll say something and somebody will come in like, "Whoa, Dave, where's your vagina?" Or whatever. And
so you do admit you do have one.
Joe, what else you got for a Marvel book this week?
Is this a lightning round? I'm confused. What are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing, because we're almost an hour in. We haven't got even through the independent book yet.
Off the rails. All right, so
I am kind of just bouncing around here.
So I picked up Venom. I don't like this story. I think we're convoluting, the spiritual versus the memory, because technically he's not dead. If he's a memory, he would. we can dive deep into the philosophy of this. But I did like the fact that we're having to deal with our past sins. And we have other Venoms there that have been Venoms for a long time. And the whole spirit of fight, I can agree with that. So I'm on board as far as that go. But for the most part, I was like, oh, it's a whiskey dick issue. Like, this issue doesn't matter. We're going to find out everything that we already know again in the next issue and their ultimate fight. And that's going to be the important issue. So this is an in-between for me. Do I wait for the whiskey dick symbol or do it?
Oh, no. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
You changed everything, man. I don't know. I'm here. I'm just your employee.
My employee.
You're getting paid for this?
There, you happy? I did it for you. That's for you, Joe.
Anytime you have Thorgy involved in a comic book, I hate to say it, I'm on board. Like, I have his first appearance. I saw the transformation. I saw the split of the multiverse in it, where he was a constant character. I don't know why, but Thor as a frog makes me very, very happy. It's a personal thing. Yes, I like this. This was fun. And I like the internal conflict of Dr. Blake knowing Jane Foster and then finding out that, oh, yeah, I was a Thor, by the way. And he's like, oh, and he's going around killing all these Thors. Like, there's some personal conflict there. I like that. That's adult themed material. That's deep. I like it, and I want more of that. I want to chase that rabbit hole down. Amazing Spider-Man. Hey, remember when I said, hey, when they come out with issue 56, it's actually going to be a 55 LR? I was wrong. I'm admitting it now. I was wrong. We have a 56. Guess what it should be? 55 LR. This entire thing is nothing more than a monologue of Harry Osborn talking to his son, Kindred, or whatever his name is, talking about how they can be a family again. Hey, shut up. I was told to do this, you fucktard. Put the sign down. Symbiote Spider-Man. This actually has some very important stuff in it. If you are interested in the Null story, you may want to start picking this up. There was a little tidbit in here, but the sign's up, so I'm not going to share it with you because Mike's a dick.
I'm only doing what I'm told.
I didn't tell you to do anything else. Don't blame it on me. What else you got for Marvel? Is that all your Marvel, Joe?
No. Screw you guys. I'm done. I'm going to sit over here with my kryptonite, radiation ring, and go bald. Screw all of you.
We're going to get it down a little bit, but I think we just spent entirely too much time on the future state stuff. Man,
run down my marbles. I ran them down.
Okay, I'm going to talk about some independence real quick before we bounce out of here, and we'll go around the board for that too. I only picked up
my pick of the week.
What's your pick of the week, Mike? What's your Marvel books?
Oh, hey, shut up!
It's definitely not a Marvel
you fucktard.
Wow, Joey is in fine form tonight. He's all liquored up. I'm surprised the chat's not going a little more crazy. What's your pick of the week, Mike?
It's an independent book.
Oh, it is. Okay, we're going into independence. I'll go independent. Then we'll go to Mike or Joe. Then we'll go back to you.
Yeah, you will.
I only have two.
I have two. I have 3 independents this week. I picked up Last Witch by Boombox. Picked up cover B on that one. Picked up Scout's Honor #1. I end up getting the I think it's a 1/15 variant on that one too, and crossover #3. Those are the 3 independents I picked up this week. Last Witch remind me a lot of folklore, kind of like that, as a kind of medieval, looking for witches beyond the hedge, and she's not supposed to go out beyond there because of the day is clear, and so the witch is out actually hunting children, so she's not supposed to go out. That's what they say. The weather is perfect for the witch to be out hunting children. Don't you remember that? Don't you remember her dad telling her that?
It was fucking horrible. That's all I remember.
It wasn't too bad. It definitely was more of a kid story. But we definitely know that she's destined for more things. If she's marked, special, or she's been, they talk about her being marked, this is like a tattoo or something. My biggest disappointment for the week was Scout's Honor. I was really looking forward to this being a post-apocalyptic book, being a scout book. Yes, I love me some scouts, and that sounded really bad, but if you've been touched by your scoutmaster,
Because Chris Hannon's going to come over here on the show sometime.
yeah. But the thing that I hated about it most, here, let me get to the page. Of course, you got to have the reveal that she's a female in the scouts. You know, if she had get found out, she'd be kicked out of the Ranger Scouts. Oh my God, did they really have to go there? Did they really have to do this? That's what
it's like sleepaway camp.
Kinda. So the greatest hero of the Ranger Scouts is the girl that's in there. I would much rather just have it co-ed, you know, like the Scouts are now, all co-ed and just out versus she has to hide who she is in order to be a Ranger Scout. I really don't dig that. That's not cool.
I got that book coming in the mail too. So,
and then we got crossover number 3. We get Doctor Strange in here, but I'm gonna let Joe talk about crossover number 3.
It's not Doctor.
It looks like Doctor Strange, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yes. Well, you gonna talk about crossover 3, Joe? I'm pitching you a softball there.
Right.
There you go.
Am I talking about my?
Yes, talk. Yes, please
okay.
do.
So let's talk about my indies this week. So Scouts Honor, right? This is stupid. There's no other way to it. So there's this whole theme that's going out there that girls can do. I'm sorry. Well, in this book, they're children, so a girl would be the correct terminology. And that may be a fair assessment. Girls can do whatever. Girls can rise to whatever. Women can do whatever. There are special things out there to help women to advance even more. You know where it's not? In elite forces. Sorry. There's very, very good reasons for that. Your book's garbage. Your philosophy's garbage. And taking deviant children and thinking you can train them into military elite forces just shows how much you actually know about the military. You're stupid. Now that was a good book. That made sense. This is stupid. And the truth is, if somebody tries to hide to be a woman within an organization, look, this isn't. Oh, I don't want to say it. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to say it. I don't want to be a jerk, but reality's reality. Yes, last year, some women passed the Ranger leadership course.
Careful, Joe.
Everybody thought that was a thing, right? Everybody thought that was a thing. They're not in the Rangers. They just passed a course. That's all they did for leadership. And this is somebody's views on things. This is not a comic book. This is somebody's opinion about how the world works. And it reads that way. And it's very obvious. And it's garbage.
Well, Discovery Bay says he was not liking it until the reveal at the end. He's interested. Well, you talk about the reveal at the end when they find out that the original Scoutmaster was murdered by the Scouts.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting twist. I thought that was an interesting twist. I thought that was really good. But the truth is, in a future dystopia, let's just break out the facts. They hotwired a card and use it 200 years in the future. Like there was just these little nuances as you go through this book. It's like, that's not that far in the future. There's no way that would have happened. And look, I'm not I like Superman. I know there's no alien that flies around, right? But context is context. If you're going to go into the future, then it needs to be futuristic to some degree. And the truth is a battery that can last that long to create a hologram. I don't know. I did thought it was cool, the whole program. And there has been, and you can throw up your sign if you want, because here's my answer to it. There was actually a program in 1983 where they took young boys, deviant boys, who were prone to violence, and they did a study on them to see if they could actually perform as high operating military individuals. What ended up happening is exactly the expectation that you saw in the book. They formed a gang. We know the gang. We've all heard of the gang. It was the Crips.
Well,
government failed experiment.
my whole thing with it, if it's a dystopian future where a large portion of humanity is wiped out, it's not going to really make a difference on gender going in to be this elite
Right.
force. So why hide it?
Yeah. What's the expectation of hiding something that long into the future? The fact you have to hide something or not hide something, you would think just sheer numbers would be an issue, but apparently we're all still bigots in the future.
We haven't moved very far forward, I guess, progressive. So
apparently.
What about crossover number 3, Joe? What about Doctor Strange?
Love crossover. So the paybacks. Love the paybacks back in the day. If you don't know who the paybacks are, the paybacks were a property through Dark Horse at one point, and it was kind of a parody of a superhero team that got so far into debt that they had to be superheroes.
Hey, Joe, real quick. I think I got your next build, a bottle opener, because you can't use a pair of scissors to open a damn pair of bottle.
You can't when it has a bottle opener.
I know, but that's not man enough. You got to have some big-ass blade bottle opener.
This guy over here telling you how to be a man.
Right. Next thing you know, he'll tell me what My Little Pony I need to. All right, so crossover is great. I just don't know at this point if it's a comic book or if it's a game. I think it's a game. I don't think it's really a comic book. As you read this book and you start seeing Dark Horse properties, DC, Marvel properties, first off, how they're getting away with this, I have no idea, because I know these companies are sticklers for their property. However they're getting away with it, whatever. The great thing about it is as you read through this book, you constantly get the Easter eggs, and then you get big reveals. And then you see things like the paybacks from the Dark Horse and Madman, which honestly, Mike turned me on to Madman. I didn't even know about Madman until we were in a warehouse in North Carolina digging through books together, and he pointed it out to me, and I started reading the stuff. Great stuff.
That was like one of our first dates.
It was our first mandate. That was our first mandate.
You're giving me shit about being a man. You have about going on mandates.
Yeah, you're a man if you go on mandates. We go on mandates. We do man shit.
There's a difference, Dave.
Yeah.
If you come live out here, we'll show you the way.
I'm not thinking that's the way, but that's just me.
This is the way.
What were we talking about? You're talking about crossover.
Anyway, crossover is an interesting book. My question is how long is the nostalgic run versus, hey, what's the actual point of this story? When is that going to start lining up? Because you're telling several different stories here. And I find them interesting. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate on them. But the problem is I'm starting to get a little convoluted because we kind of have very different things going on in here, and we're trying to mesh them together. And we have very weird artwork too. So it's a little bit of a strain to get through it all. You want to hit up the chat real quick before we move on? Because somebody brought up an interesting point about the Scout book, and I was going to mention it. And I didn't sure how people's temperatures were, but they were like, is it kind of like a Mulan? And yes, it's Mulan.
Oh, the Scout book? Yeah, a little bit.
Do you want to hit the chat, or do you want to hit it up?
No, go ahead. You hit the chat, Joe.
All right, man. I'm going to start asking for a paycheck. Here we go. Everybody's saying, still everybody being very cordial to each other. Thank you for that. We do appreciate it. We want everybody to get along. Hate on us. Don't hate on the chat. Thank you very much. Discovery says both Star Wars books this week were great. I really enjoyed the High Republic. Super cool. What's up, Jason? And of course, Southern Comic Geek jumps in the room immediately. He's always got good content, and he's always very animated when he talks. I love him. Keeps my attention. More congratulations. I enjoyed crossover, except the slow burn of it. Loved seeing Madman. That was cool. Excited to read Firepower tonight. Yes, that good point. I bet Huey loves them. Some scouts laughed out loud. We know where that comment came from. So Mulan, yes, Mulan. Yeah, Scouts Honors Mulan. The future dystopia Mulan. I'm on the edge with crossover right now. I am too. Like I just right now, I just feel like there's just too much going on. Where is it at? I was not liking Scouts Honor until the reveal at the end. I'm interested in seeing where it goes. I was the same way. The moment they did the whole, oh, I'm really a girl thing, I was like, so the fuck what? You live in the, I'm sorry, I've been drinking a lot. You live in the future, what difference does it make? However, that ending kind of twisted me up too. And now I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see something cool where the person can take themselves out of context and create their own thing and bring the valor and justice. I want to see that. Let's see what happens. Okay. I was not liking. Okay, blah blah. I read that. I must have been a Tesla. It must have been a Tesla battery. 250 years in the future, like things were just like some of the things in the book. I was just like, why would that be a thing? But then again, I'm an adult reading these books, and sometimes I have to remember that comic books generally are not for 44-year-old people. So I have to keep that in mind sometimes when I read a book.
Okay. Mike, what about your independence? What'd you think?
So I bought, unfortunately, Knock 'em Dead #2, which sucked.
Yeah, we told you that.
Yeah, well, I had high hopes. I agree with you guys with crossover. A lot of things going on, but no clear ending. I'm still going to keep picking it up. But my pick of the week, I don't know what your guys' pick of the weeks were.
I don't know
We
either.
should say that at the end of the show, but yeah.
So Joey and I met these two writers a couple years ago. Bob France and Kevin Coffey.
Yeah. I remember that. Those are cool guys.
Do you remember what they wrote? Probably not.
What? Why would I remember? Oh, because I've been drinking. Fuck you. I'll go drive a car right now.
I'm just testing you, see what they wrote.
The hockey guy.
No.
Metal Sharks.
So they wrote Metal Shark. Well, they put out a new book this week.
Oh.
Xeno didn't have it.
Ninja Nuns. I saw that. I didn't pick it. It wasn't in the store, but I saw that on the release.
You're fucking crazy. So there's 4 stories. There's 3 different nuns. It's kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but with nuns.
Hot, sexy nuns.
Not really. The first story, a guy wants to summon a demon, a god of fortune. He mistakenly summons the god of constipation. So Sister Angelica Carlita Teresa, or Sister Act, saves the day there.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hallelujah.
The second story, we meet the other 2 nuns, Sister Christian.
Sister X-Lax in there?
And Sister Elsie. Here they take on the Discomancer and the undead DJ Mary Maggs. Man, this book is so funny. Third story, the nuns infiltrate the Jelly Pie Jam Band Jamboree Festival because the band has summoned a demon, and they lick on it to get high. They lick it to get high. The fucking demon looks like spaghetti and meatballs.
Hey, Mike, you remember Baltimore?
Yeah,
Yeah. It was a good time.
yeah.
Inside joke.
Hey, Dave, you want to come to Baltimore?
I might have to, maybe.
The fourth story, basically, it's called Con Crud. The nuns go to a comic book convention, and a bunch of con goers are like, "You guys ain't real nuns. You're not dressed in sexy clothing," and they up wiping the floor with these guys. But this book, funny, just like Metal Shark, funny. The art fits. Pick of the week right here, Ninja Nuns. Hopefully, I get to meet the two writers again, so they can sign this for me. Maybe we'll have a crossover. Metal Shark meets the Ninja Nuns. I don't know.
That would be awesome. I would buy that. All right, boss, you're in charge. What
I'm
orders, oh sir?
I'm updating.
What? Your Instagram? Hey, you're at work, sir.
Work. I mean, I'm getting paid.
Hey, youngster, get off your phone.
I think that's it. We're going to go to wrap this up. This has been a crazy, kind of hectic show because there was no organization whatsoever. But I still think it's better than the brackets we were doing for the past couple episodes, for sure.
Organized, like little captured there.
We'll narrow it down. But we definitely had a lot of people in the chat tonight. We definitely appreciate that. And there were quite a few good books out this week, but nothing. My pick of the week. My pick of the week is probably going to have to go with Wonder Woman. I think that's my pick of the week. That was the best one of the group for me.
Best one of the week.
Yeah.
But that one she's using terms like pull a Huey. Or
pull a Huey. Pull a Huey. What about you, Joe? What was your pick of the week?
Pick of the week was, believe it or not, Symbiote Spider-Man, which is a surprise for me. I really enjoyed this. I love the characters in it.
That was pretty good.
But you were making fun of me. You know I know where you live. No, I'm joking. Yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man.
I have a fucking Keyblade.
Yeah, so do I. Blast of the week. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. Blast of the week was Superman of Metropolis. It just didn't do anything for me.
Before we bounce out of here, it looks like we do have quite a few likes and stuff on there, but make sure you are where's my thing? There we go. Make sure you're giving a thumbs up and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell when we go live. So definitely appreciate everybody.
Contest.
We got to do a contest. We should do
We should do a contest.
Do some kind of contest, maybe. Go check us out on Instagram stuff. I'm selling a whole bunch of books over there. I got a whole list of stuff that I'm supposed to be making contact with Discovery Bay and Double S on those books over there. But I'm trying to sell some books for a friend. If you want some good deals on some good books, definitely go hit me up on Instagram. And that's just Blastin' or Stashin' on Instagram too. It's about to pull my earbuds right out of my ears. Anything else before we bounce out of here, guys?
Shameless plug. Hey, don't forget, I'm doing crazy stuff in my mad scientist lab. We actually played with acid. We made homegrown our own crystals, and we made a ring, and we made our own kryptonite, and we used illegal substances to make it. All to prove my point to a show called The Knockout over at Mr. Comic Head, where I get to debate on behalf of Lex Luthor. I'm just going to say it right now. If anybody's watching this and they're in the knockout, Bubba, you better bring it. Bringing it. Ooh,
what about you, Mike?
What are we doing?
Same words.
Shout outs. Or anything we want to say before we get out of here?
Yes.
What? Words.
I love you.
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
I'm gonna go to get out of here and go have my wife yell at me talking about a Brazilian wax.
Taco Bell.
So
Well, if you
We
went
just
and
hang
been
out
on
and drink.
Pornhub all week,
Hey, everybody just grab a drink and let's just hang out and drink.
some of us have to work.
No,
I have to work.
No,
I have to work.
no, that's not fun. Don't just call and say you got the Corona.
I already did that last week, so not going to work this week.
Why,
Okay, we're
just
gonna
the
go
people
to-
at Wawa.
Going to bounce on out of here. Thinking about Pornhub. We'll end it with this.
Wow, this is the most amazing fight scene I've ever seen. I feel so bad for anybody that isn't getting to see this amazing mutant on ninja action that I'm seeing right now.
Excuse me. Is this where we sign up for Fight Club?
Casey Bones. Hey, nice stick.
You like it?
How about a game of one-on-one?
What about the 4-on-1 going on